What's going on YouTube? I just wanted to make a quick video here just to show you guys something I learned with an excruciating amount of pain and time. But I did learn a little trick to these PT Cruisers. Now, this only applies to anyone with a PT Cruiser that is sporting the GetReg 288 transmission. Now, that is only on the 2.4 liter turbo PTs with the 5-speed manual. I don't know after 06 if they continue to do that or if they just switch to a T350, but I know for sure from 03 to 05, the GTs with turbo, right? And manual transmission, they come with these European, essentially a Mercedes transmission from like 1990s Mercedes cars. They did this, I think, for space or something stupid like that. But the only issue with this car, the only major issue with this car is that it had a speed sensor issue. There was no speedometer working. So essentially there is your four wheel speed sensors. They have to do with ABS, your braking. It does nothing to do with your actual speed sensor on your dash. So if you actually ever have this exact model and you go to a shop or you even just you do it yourself, you take the sensor out, it's literally just at the front of the transmission right there. You don't even have to jack it up to take it out. So that speed sensor is a very different style speed sensor. It's like a Hall effect sensor. So essentially it's like a crank sensor, but it's actually more or less like they used it in transfer cases on some of the Jeeps. But the only issue is that this specific part is not available. Like Dodge doesn't have it. They'll say they have it, you'll order it, they'll tell you they don't have it. Okay, so Dodge doesn't have it. Like no America, Chrysler, anything, nothing has it around. There's no aftermarket sensor. You will not find it. You will search for months, you will not find it. If you find any sensors online, they'll probably be used and most likely sold out. So you'll never get this speed sensor. And if anyone knows Dodges, especially back then, if the speed sensor goes, the car runs like shit. So what I did was I tried to get a different sensor. Oh, my bad. Okay, so sorry about that. So yeah, I ended up trying to get an aftermarket sensor that was for a short shift version of a transfer case or something like that for Jeep. It looked fairly similar. It looked like it would work, and of course it didn't. No signal, no nothing. It plugged in, but it just didn't work. So there really is no fix for this, at least not known to any of the forums or anything like that. There is no fix at all. So the only thing that I figured out that works, and it will work, and this will solve your issue, and it's actually going to be really cheap, would be to buy a crank sensor off of, now this is, I'm pretty sure this is one from my car. I think it is. Yeah, that seems about right. It might not. Actually, to be honest, this looks like a completely different sensor. But the idea is it looks just like this. This is a crank sensor off of this exact engine, and it has the same fucking connector. So, honestly, it doesn't seem proper. This harness will reach this. It doesn't need the pigtail coming off it like the stock sensor. You can just put it in, plug it in, and it will work. So this will save you a lot of money and time and headache just watching this video for 2 seconds and figuring out that the crank sensor is really the only way you're going to replace your speed sensor. But it does work. You can get the crank sensor anywhere. There's aftermarket available everywhere. So that's a much more easier part to buy. Fits right in. The only modification that you're going to have to do is I think this sticks out farther. So or maybe it's not out far enough. Yeah, I think this doesn't go out far enough. So what I had to do is I had to cut right there. I had to cut right there. And I left the top open. So then I could put a bolt into the hole, put it in, slide it on, and then screw it down. And the bolt would clamp about, like that. But it still held it in place. It still holds. It's fine. And this saves you a shit ton of time and money. So anyone owns a GT Cruiser with a 5-speed manual, this is your new speed sensor.